India stands firm. What will Trump do now? Everything changed before 9th July. Imagine India standing on a massive global platform, facing the world's most powerful nation, the United States. Talks are underway between the two, but suddenly everything comes to a halt. The deadline is approaching. 9th July is just around the corner. America wants a deal, but India has now dug in its heels. This is no longer just a trade issue. It's a test of India's dignity, self-reliance, and its resistance to global pressure. And this time, India is not willing to bend. US President Trump, known worldwide for his tough style, is growing restless with India's silence. First, China gave him a shock, and now India stands like a wall. The question arises, will a miracle happen before 9th July? Or is India about to send a clear message to America, we'll make a deal, but only on our terms? Today, we'll dive deep into this topic. But before that, if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you are the first to get every update of our new videos. So let's begin today's discussion without any delay. In reality, this trade standoff between India and the US is not a storm that arose overnight. It is the result of months of back and forth, during which both countries have been trying to understand each other's priorities, but the path to an agreement remains unclear. At the center of this disagreement are auto parts, steel, and certain key agricultural products like soybeans, corn, wheat, ethanol, and dairy items. The US wants India to reduce import duties on these goods, making it easier for American products to enter the Indian market. But India links these goods to rural employment and food security. Opening them up cheaply could be a strategic threat for India. The Trump administration is expecting India to bend at a time when the US itself is dealing with political and economic instability at home. Trump has already stepped back in the tariff war with China. Now, he expects India to remove reciprocal tariffs. But India is not in a hurry this time. Indian officials have clearly stated that India will only sign a deal that is balanced, mutually beneficial, and aligned with its policies. They've made it clear, India is not rushing, and even if there is no deal, the country is ready. The situation becomes even more interesting when we look at how earlier signs suggested that India might go ahead with the deal. Trump had previously claimed that India had proposed a no-tariff agreement on American products. Some officials had also hinted that the US was a priority for India and that a deal could happen soon. But now, those very talks have stalled. 3 Indian government officials told Reuters that the US is still unwilling to accept India's key demands. India wants the US to roll back tariffs imposed on steel and auto parts, as well as withdraw the 26% retaliatory duties set to take effect from 9th July. In return, India has offered to reduce duties on items like pistachios, almonds, and walnuts. Additionally, India has expressed willingness to prioritize American investments in sectors like energy, automobiles, and defense. However, the US side, particularly regarding agricultural products, remains firm on demanding tariff cuts and removal of non-tariff barriers. That's why hopes for an agreement are weakening. Talks are ongoing between US trade representatives and the Indian embassy in Washington, but these discussions are now shifting away from a quick resolution and more toward a long-term strategic partnership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to position India as a reliable economic partner for the US. He envisions companies like Apple and Tesla setting up in India, and for India to become a global supply chain hub replacing China. But for that to happen, trade relations must be based on transparency and balance, not pressure and haste. India's strategy is now clear. It is interested but not desperate. As one government source stated, we want to reach an agreement before 9th July, but not at any cost. This reflects a new policy direction, where India is presenting itself as a strong, self-reliant, and sovereign economic power. And it is this mindset that is now lifting India from the category of a developing nation to that of a global policy maker. Indian officials are united in their view that they seek a long-term partnership with the US. They also acknowledge that America is a reliable strategic ally. But at the same time, they make it clear that India will not accept a win-lose deal. The message is straightforward: either both sides benefit, or there will be no agreement. India's trade policy is now based on balance and fairness, not mere opportunism. And this approach isn't just limited to the US. India recently concluded FTA negotiations with the UK and has accelerated talks for a free trade agreement with the European Union as well. India wants to have diverse options so that it isn't overly dependent on any single country. And this signals that India now wants to operate in global politics on its own terms, even if it means standing firm against the United States. Ram Singh, head of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, says, "The ball is now in America's court. India will not be part of any deal where only one side benefits." His statement reflects India's evolving mindset and its firm policy stance. If the US imposes retaliatory tariffs on India, the country is prepared to absorb the impact. Indian officials believe that India's competition lies with countries like Vietnam and China, and that even with tariffs, Indian products remain competitive. Data from April-May 2024 shows India's exports to the US reached $17.25 billion compared to $14.17 billion during the same period last year, indicating that the direct impact of tariffs has so far been minimal.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.